And welcome back to Detective Grimoire. So, we are on continuing the investigation. And let's see where the path takes us. Okay, so this is a new area, so we have to click things.
What's this? Looks like the stuff in the water has been moved around recently.
Ooh.
Maybe if I reposition them, I'll find a clue.
Alright, well, there's definitely footprints here. So, like, is there a place where things need to be more specifically? Oh, there might be, in fact. Let's see. Don't know where that needs to go yet. I can't rotate anything, so it would just have to be a more basic kind of... Well, that seems to fit. Let's move the clutter out of the way. So anything that doesn't have...
I recognize that footprint. It's the same as the one found at the crime scene.
Okay, can I now... clues. No? Notes. Ooh. Well, okay, let's see.
This staircase is a tree. And this tree is a staircase.
Oh.
And this place is so weird.
Well, okay then.
It's like a little forest back here. This staircase is... and the rock path leading back towards the museum.
So this goes to the museum and this goes back, does it? I would assume so, yes. Really? Is that all? Nothing else?
The rock path leading back toward... The water's clear here.
Oh!
I can see my reflection in it. Not bad.
I mean, that's nice, but ultimately not what I was going for. Oh, so that was where I came from. Okay.
Someone please tell me why there's a house here. Well, the lights are on. Maybe somebody's home. Someone please... Well... It feels like I've stepped into nighttime. What happened to the sun? It feels...
Is that really all?
I wouldn't be using this old rope bridge if I had a choice. I've seen the movies, I know what happens.
Well,
Someone... The latch is broken on this door. Seems I can fix it with those 3 cogs if I just put them in the right place. Once they're on the right pins, I can move the handle at the bottom.
Okay. That doesn't seem to add up, no. Nope. That doesn't work either. They need to connect. This might be... So that connects those. How about this? No? Those doesn't connect. Oh, I had to manually do it. Okay. Ugh.
Perfect.
Ah! So I did it right. Ooh. Okay, let's look at things first.
There's a whole load of needles and wool on that shelf.
I would say yarn, but sure.
Or should I say yarn?
Exactly. Thank you.
I just don't know.
Stove?
This is like an oven? Or is it just a boiler? It's so old-fashioned it hurts my brain. A little blanket on a little bed in a little house. It makes very little sense.
I suppose.
There's a book on the table. I think it's a book about flowers.
That would make
How
sense.
fascinating. I must take some time to read it.
Well, that would require permission from...
A little There's a book on...
You just walked straight into my house, did you?
I would.
Sorry, I would have rung the bell, but you don't have one.
Normally, I have methods for dealing with unwanted attention, but I can make exceptions for harmless idiots.
Do you get any attention up here?
Most of the time, people like to leave me alone. But I don't think you're going to, are you?
No. I could make an excuse and say it's my job to ask you about last night, but to be honest, I climbed all the way up here and I just like being indoors.
Well, if you insist on staying, I'll tell you. I'm Lady Weybridge, and I think you might be climbing up the wrong trees.
I'm Detective Grimoire, and I think I might agree with you.
Okay, your job.
What do you do here? Did you work for Richard Remington?
I was living here before that man was even born, and I have absolutely nothing to do with him, or his little tourist attraction.
You're exaggerating. How long have you been here? Just in this treehouse? What do you do up here?
I've been here longer than anyone. Even longer than,
Bog.
well, anyone.
I like numbers.
60 years, something like that.
What have you been doing for that time? If you don't mind me asking.
I have many reasons to be here, but I won't bore you with all the details of my life.
I'm sure there's one detail worth writing down.
I like to study the plants and flowers in this area. I've learned many things from them.
What about this little chemistry set you've got on your table?
I wouldn't call it a chemistry set,
Alchemy.
but if you bring me an object that has liquid on it, or inside it, I'll tell you what that liquid consists of.
Wow, how do you do that?
Chemistry.
But it's not a chemistry set. Okay. A page from Weybridge Book of Pressed Flowers contains information about all the flowers in the swamp and where they grow. The green and red species only grow around the side door of the museum and can't be found anywhere else. Well, we had blue and red, so that's not really much useful right now. Last night.
Your job is to ask me about what happened last night.
Do you even know what happened last night?
I know more than you might imagine.
Oh, that sounds useful. Can you tell me? What were you doing?
I was here, in my house, by myself.
What else?
That's it.
Thanks. Just give me a minute to write all this down.
Okay, well, I mean, 60 years? There's a slight chance that she might be the explorer or someone related to it.
The owner of this house seems to though I'm not sure what...
Good point. But that was... Oh, that's a flower.
The tree comes straight through the middle of the house. It
Yes.
even has little drawers carved into it. Okay,
Yes.
even I'll admit, that's pretty cool.
Yes, but not very practical.
Check out that sunlight beaming through the window. It's so bright I should have brought my sunglasses.
I think that was also a reference to the old game. Right, well, we didn't really... It must be down here, right? Ooh! Someone new, and...
Predictably, a trash can. And I just can't resist taking a look inside. The glamorous life of a detective. My favorite part of the job. Maybe there's something underneath the trash in here. Hello, what's this? Just a piece of paper? Or something more sinister?
What about the... Okay, just newspapers. Okay. These look like designs for a buggy costume. What's going on here? I mean, we literally have 2 out
Are
of...
we really talking about a swamp creature here?
The trash can explains... What? No? Oh yeah, that was the name of the fairground. That's right. What else is there? Nope. That was hidden inside. Well, no, that doesn't make sense. It's this one that the only explains what. No, it doesn't. This?
The costume design I found in the trash can explains what Burrow's black and white photo is showing me. My detective's intuition is kicking in. That black and white photograph, I'm not sure I'm looking at the real Boggy here, and I think these designs I found in the trash can might be the answer. I'll ask around, see if anybody knows anything about this. Oh, and I should start looking for the costume itself. If I can find that, there'll be some pretty impressive evidence.
Ooh! A deadly disguise.
I have something for you.
Another gift already. Where are you keeping all this stuff? You don't even have pockets in that dress.
I don't need a pocket to carry a key.
What key?
I don't know. You could try it on any door you like. Although, I recommend you try it on that office door.
Remington's office?
Mm-hmm.
So she was also a semi-spiritual character in the first one, as far as I remember it. Okay, there's things to look at. I just need to stretch first. Woo! Woo! Okay. So the path literally goes up the... Okay.
There's a little locked door on the side of the ship here. I think it's part of the cafe.
Possibly.
A shipwreck? In a swamp? Does that make any sense?
Yes, if the swamp is even close to the ocean.
And why
Or
is there
big
a
lake.
cafe growing out of the side?
Cafes don't grow, usually.
A shipwreck? And the tables and chairs are made out of parts of a ship,
I mean, that.
I think. Never really learned much about ships.
Yes, that looks like a spool for an anchor chain. Alright, well, let's, ooh.
Water everywhere, and not a drop to drink.
Aye.
Seriously, I'm not drinking that.
Ah, yes. I heard they were sending somebody over. So you're Detective Grimoire.
At your service. Well, kind of. You're a suspect, too.
Of course, of course. Feel free to be as suspicious as you like. I won't be offended. You can call me Harper.
How did you know my name?
I can only assume I must have read about one of your many exploits. But I think you'll find this swamp to be your greatest challenge.
What was that?
What's so challenging about an old swamp?
The swamp itself has a history that has captured many imaginations, for better or for worse. My advice to you, look to the past. It could be the way forward.
The museum. Oh, okay, so now we have to ask about the boggy question. Your job.
So, you sit in this boat all day and sell food to people? To tourists, I guess?
Not just the tourists, but the employees too. To anyone who is hungry or thirsty. I know everyone's favorite foods.
What are they? Oh, and is this a real shipwreck? How did it get here?
I can't expose all the secrets of the swamp. I don't want to spoil your fun.
Is there a secret to this shipwreck?
No.
You just spoiled my fun.
You'll find out there are some secrets worth keeping when you've worked here as long as I have.
Well, how long is that?
I've worked in this swamp almost as long as Mr. Remington. We knew each other for a long time.
Really? So what was his favorite food?
Mr. Remington enjoyed a specialty only I can make. The bog dog. He ate one nearly every day. A real creature of habit, that one.
It looks like a hot dog.
It's similar, but I'm afraid I have to disappoint you. I'm not serving them today.
Why not?
Yesterday I found this strange green powder in my entire supply.
Guess I'm out of luck today. Well, thanks for the information. You've been a real big help.
Wait, take this with you. If you get thirsty, it's the most popular drink in Boggy's Bog. Swamp juice.
Yeah.
Try it.
It looks like... Well, I'll try some later on.
You're in luck. That's my last bottle. A lot of swamp juice has been disappearing from my stock recently. I can only assume I must have been selling them all.
Did something strange happen at the cafe yesterday?
Okay, let's see what we have. Was the reason that? Murdered the victim because we don't know that yet. Visited the cafe? Well, he did. But let's see what else there is. Left the cafe feeling ill after. Oh! A bog dog. Yep.
Richard Remington left the cafe feeling ill after Hopper sold him a bog dog. Hopper is basically in charge of all the food and drink here in Boggy's Bog. I'll have to ask him about this.
Let's go straight for that.
I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last night. Since you seem to be completely in charge of all the food and drink around here, I'm afraid this is something I can't ignore.
He was an old man. His health wasn't perfect. But I'm not arguing with you. I think it is suspicious. What do you think caused it?
What do I think caused it?
Yeah.
A bog dog he ate at the cafe gave him food poisoning.
I keep all my food locked in the storeroom when I'm not here. You think he was poisoned?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned by me?
No, we don't. You left the food stocks outside the storeroom, no?
The storeroom was broken into with a lockpick.
A lockpick? I've never encountered a problem like this before. But since last night, am I in a position to doubt a claim like that?
Somebody knew that Remington would eat a bog dog. He ate one every day, right?
Do you suppose this explains the missing bottles of swamp juice as well?
Most likely. That was very informative. Okay, last night.
You're going to ask me about what I was doing last night.
I was going to. Were you going to tell me anything?
I was working here at the cafe in the evening.
That
I
checks
had a
out.
couple customers.
Yep. that
Eventually
checks
they
out.
all left and I locked up and went home.
Do you lock away everything at night?
Not everything, just the storeroom over there.
You mean that little door on the side of the ship? Is there anything else to lock?
I leave the chairs, tables, and trash can where they are. Lifting things like that is not a job for an old man.
Don't you have anyone to help you?
Mr. Remington liked to keep us down to his skeleton staff. There simply aren't many people who would choose to work in a place like this.
A skeleton staff? Well, that's convenient for him since...
Don't make that joke. I won't laugh.
That was a bit on the nose.
Someone made a costume to look like the creature. They must have known it would get a reaction for sure. But I wonder if they planned things to go this far.
When you're finished theorizing, I was going to show you these sketches I found in a trash can right next to your cafe.
It does seem like someone was designing a costume. A disguise, perhaps.
I don't know.
Try to think why somebody would do such a thing.
I don't know.
What could they achieve with it?
I don't know.
Not yet.
I like Harper. He's Yep. Harper says a lot of swamp juice has been. Well, we now have a liquid, and we have someone who can help us with... Present a clue! Oh, first...
I found these designs for a boggy costume. Do you know anything about them?
You're asking me because you can tell I'm experienced with needlecraft and sew my own clothes?
No, but that's a good reason. Let's go with that.
Well, these designs look like they should have stayed where they were.
In the trash?
On paper.
Oh, how come?
Whoever drew them didn't really know what they were doing.
You would have done it differently?
Of course. I am a seamstress. There was a time when I considered sewing my craft, my livelihood.
Really?
When Richard Remington arrived in the swamp years ago, I offered him some of my handmade fabric as a peace offering. I don't think he cared much for it. Most likely he threw it away. A pointless gift from some strange woman.
Well, so these are all covered in swamp juice. Where was I? Film footage?
No, thank you.
Yeah, that didn't make sense either.
This is a 60-year-old journal. It was on display in a museum.
I know what it is.
I thought you might. I'm supposed to look to the past, right?
Ooh! Let's see. Remington founded Boggy's Bog, that fits. Was living in the swamp when... Let's see what else is here. No. That's... let's see. Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when Boggy was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago.
Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when Boggy was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago.
It might have been.
I think that's...
Yeah, it's the swamp creature instead.
Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorers 60 years ago. Lady Weybridge. She was living here when Boggy was first discovered by the explorer.
Alright, let's try and grill her.
I've been looking into the history of this place.
Oh, really? Did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused. You found me today, when you barged into my house. Remember?
I don't know if that's true. That could be true, but we don't have any evidence to prove it.
You were already living in the swamp when the explorer came here 60 years ago.
The explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know who I'm talking about. His sketches and notes are the only real evidence we have for this creature.
You already have his journal. You learned to read, I assume. What else do you need?
Yes.
There's a page missing from the journal. I think you know where it is.
Why on earth would I know something like that?
Because you were the only person here when the explorer visited the swamp. I have a suspicion that the swamp creature wasn't the only thing he discovered.
You're suggesting he gave me a page from the back of his journal? Or what, that I stole it?
I mean... yeah.
I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my
That was
mind.
very diplomatic.
It doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs here, with me. You understand?
What if I promise I'll return it after I finish clearing up this mess?
Then... I'll show it to you.
Is this you? He drew you into his journal? It's beautiful.
60 years ago, yes. He left the page with me. We agreed the rest of the world would manage without it.
I think there's something on the back. What's this? Footprint.
The last page ripped out of the explorer's journal, given to Weybridge by the explorers 60 years ago, features a drawing of Lady Weybridge at 20 years old. Also features drawings of Boggy's feet and footprint. He has 2 toes at the front and 1 at the back. Ah. This page proves the footprints found outside the office were not made by the real buggy. Okay, well... Right, well, that's it for this episode. In the next one, we shall continue to explore around and hopefully meet the last 2 people. But until then, take care.